Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga Moments. I'm Janice, and today we have another chair yoga flow, this time for our lower back. So hop into something comfortable, grab a chair, preferably something with a pretty solid seat and something that's not going to roll away or slide or move as we flow through warming up, creating a little bit of space in our low back. And when you're ready, come on to your chair. I'm going to slide forward so that my sit bones are about an inch back from the front of the chair. And thank you so much for joining me. I love bringing chair yoga to people because there's so many resources out there for yoga on the floor, and we have some of those too, but everyone deserves to move in a way that feels good and in a way that feels supported. So glad that you jumped in today, and I hope you enjoy. Once you've gotten your sit bones kind of nice and planted, we're going to bring our feet and our knees hip width apart. Find this nice tall alignment. So if you've ever done a video here before, we press our sit bones into the floor or into the chair. We lift up from the pelvic floor, draw our navel in and up, and lift our heart. So finding this kind of nice long lift up through the front body, and then our shoulder blades come away from our ears. And imagine just holding a pencil slightly between your shoulder blades. So just gently opening the chest a little bit, creating space, finding our breath. And then just notice if there's anywhere you need to soften. So if you're holding tension, if you're really trying to force it, don't worry about all that. Find what feels good. You might close your eyes, just notice how you feel. This might be new, you might be diving in for the first time, or this might be a welcomed, familiar, comforting place. When you're ready, open your eyes. We're going to start by actually really focusing right on our pelvis. So normally we do cat-cow where we really reach forward with our heart, open the front body. This time we're going to do something similar, but what we're going to do is we're really going to tip forward with our pelvis. So your tailbone's going to reach back, front body's going to stay nice and lifted. Really tip your pelvis forward. And then we're going to exhale, tip our pelvis back. So stay up nice and tall, really tuck that tailbone as far as it feels comfortable for you. So always following what feels good for you, being your own guide. We'll inhale, come forward, tip that pelvis forward, almost as though you're trying to dump water out of your pelvis. Your pelvis is a nice bowl shape. And then exhale, tuck it underneath. So my upper body's not moving as much as a normal full cat-cow. I'm really trying to focus this movement into my lower back. And if you aren't moving all that much, no worries. We might be just looking for millimeters of movement here. So the very fact that you've shown up, you're going to get so much out of this, even if it's not, completely being able to bend over and touch your toes. We got to start somewhere. So congratulations, starting right now. Follow your breath here. Inhale to tip your pelvis forward, keep your heart lifted. If you feel any strain or pain in your lower back, come back. So not as big of a movement, but very intentional, very focused. Finding softness elsewhere. So shoulders, smile, jaw, you got this. And we'll exhale one more time, come through, tuck that tailbone, heart lifts up. Just reaching your lower back down. And then we're going to come up nice and tall, take our arms all the way up, nice stretch. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Thumbs are going to point back. Pinkies are going to be forward, still finding this internal alignment with our navel drawing in and up. Pelvic floor is lifted, so we keep that internal integrity. We're going to exhale all the way into a forward fold here. So you can let your head hang heavy if that feels good to you. And if you're like, ooh, I don't go all that far, go as far as is comfortable. If you have to, bring your elbows to your knees, but whatever feels good for you. Take a nice big full breath, fill your back, fill your tummy with air. And then press into all four corners of your feet, so the ball joints of your big and little toe, both sides of your heel, lift up through the arch and come all the way up. So pressing down helps us come all the way up. From here, we're going to bring our hands to our hearts, bring our shoulder blades together on our back. Just pause for a moment and notice how you feel. You might already be noticing a little more space, a little more alive in the lower back. From here, our heart is going to stay nice and tall. Exhale, we're going to take our left elbow to our right knee. So just finding a twist here. And I'm going to press my right hand into my left, really turning my sternum, my breastbone, and my heart towards my hands. If this isn't available for you, no worries. We're going to come back hands to heart. If that wasn't something that's an option for you, English is hard. Getting all alive here. You're going to take your left hand to the outside. You can either bring your right hand across your chest, or you can just open it back behind you. So either way, finding our twist here with left hand to the outside of our right leg. Wherever you are, working on this spinal twist, see if you can draw your left hip crease back, square your hips, take a nice big full breath, and then on your next inhale, start to lift up. We'll come back to center, hands to heart. Notice how you feel. We pause here just to observe. And then exhale, take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. So again, option here. If you can't come that far, no worries. Work your way there. Wherever you are, take a nice big full breath. See if you can relax your shoulders. You might even smile. One more big full breath. Press your right elbow against your right elbow against your left knee. And then on your next inhale, we'll come up, release, bring our hands to our hearts. Just notice how we feel. So you might even bring your thumbs right up to your breastbone. And then from here, I'm going to exhale. Bring your hands to your chair. We're going to extend our feet. So make sure you're not going to slide or roll anywhere. I'm going to point my toes up towards the sky and keep a nice little micro bend in your knees. So a little bit of softness. From here, I'm going to actually slide back a little bit on my chair. So you want to feel supported. You don't want to come off your chair. I'm going to hang on with both hands on either side of my chair, and I'm just going to reach forward here. So really, I'm just practicing that pelvic tilt, feeling a stretch in the backs of my legs, tipping my pelvis forward, and my heart stays nice and lifted. So you might not have to move very far. You might not find a huge range of motion before you find the backs of your legs engage. Keep your toes active. So a little bit of stretch from our feet, a little bit of stretch from our pelvis will work the backs of our legs. It will also help right in where the hamstrings attach in our hips. Nice big full breath. See if you can bring your shoulders together behind you, away from your ears, almost like a little Superman flying pose. And we're going to inhale, come all the way up, bend our knees, just pick them up here. Find what feels good, a little bit of organic motion. And then we're going to find this nice tall alignment. So let your sit bones really sink into your chair. Lift up from the pelvic floor, lift up from your navel. So just finding that support in through your torso. It should feel really good. Hopefully it feels kind of effortless. With a little bit of practice, it gets to be really effortless and it feels really good. So I'm going to keep this nice straight back here. And we're going to inhale, lift the right leg. So this motion comes from my abdomen, comes from my lower ab. Hug your knee in If you start to round through the back, keep your heart lifted, just don't go as far. Exhale, we'll release. One more time on the left side. Inhale, lift the left knee, keeping this nice flat back. You might even bring one hand behind you, one hand in front, just noticing the work. Lift your knee as high as you can. Squeeze it in towards your torso. Exhale, release. All right, this time we're going to pick up the right foot. Bring your right foot into your left hand, or you might even tuck it into the crook of your elbow. Wherever you are, we're going to cradle our leg here. So just hugging our thigh and our knee into our tummy, into our side. Just finding a little bit of motion here. A little stretch for the hips. And again, nice tall back, nice tall spine. And you might feel a nice stretch on the outside of your right hip. Find what feels good here. On your exhale, we'll release. We're going to do the same on the left side. So inhale, lift up that left knee. Take your right hand to your left foot. You might tuck it in a little bit further. And find what feels good here. So make sure you're sitting up nice and tall first and foremost. Hug your left thigh in. So trust yourself, be your own guide here. Should feel good in your left hip. Maybe even into your glutes. Take one more full sweet breath in. Find some softness. Exhale, release back to the ground. Let's walk our feet out a little bit. So my sit bones are right at the edge of the chair. My feet are as comfortably far out as I'm okay with. Hands are going to come to your chair. Make sure that your chair is not going to move. Make sure your hands are not going to slip. Take a moment, set yourself up. We're going to inhale, press into our chair, slide our sit bones off, and we're going to lift our hips. So stretching the hip flexors here, reaching the knees away from the chair if you're comfortable with that. If not, just lift up nice and high. You might take your gaze up towards the sky here. Lift through the hip flexors, lift through your glutes. Nice stretch in your arms, in your legs. One big full sweet breath. We're going to exhale, slowly return to our chair. Find your seat, walk your feet in. Pause here and notice how you feel. And then we're going to exhale into one last forward fold here. So coming forward, taking a nice full breath, noticing how our lower back feels now. When you're ready, press into all four corners of your feet. Lift up from the arch of your foot to come up. So pressing down, finding that lift at the same time. And we're going to slide right back here into a seat, or if you're more comfortable, stay exactly where you are. There's no right or wrong here. It's all about learning to listen to yourself, to your body, finding what feels good here. And at the end of our practice, of course, we take a few moments to soften and let everything go, coming into Shavasana. So I encourage you, close your eyes, find some softness, and stay here for as long as you would like. I'm going to bring my hands to my heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and from my heart to yours. Namaste.